हेलो बच्चों, वेलकम टू लिमिनरी एकेडमी। आज मैं आपके सामने लेके आया हूँ वर्किंग ऑफ अ ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम। कैसे हम ह्यूमन बीइंग सांस लेते हैं, कैसे क्या प्रोसेस रहता है, इसके अंदर क्या क्या चीज़ इन्वॉल्व रहती है। सो लेट्स बिगिन। सो नाउ दिस इज अ डायग्राम फॉर अ ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम। How it works? Start from the nasal passage. So here the nasal passage is basically very important part because it has some hair and the membrane, that is mucus layer, mucous membrane. So what happens due to the hair? The dust particles are clean and the air is fine, and thereafter it is passed through the mucus layer so that what happens? It moist the air so for the better flow in the respiratory tract, right? So this is the nasal passage. When it enters here, sometimes we breathe from the mouth also, so it enters this part. Now here is the larynx. This is called pharynx. The pharynx is basically which we call throat. It allows the air to pass to the larynx. So the larynx is a voice box. Okay, so this is by this only we are able to speak, and that is why we called it as a voice box, which is also contain vocal cord. That's how we are able to speak. Now, when the air goes inside it, the next is trachea, which supports this, and thereafter the rings of cartilages. The rings of cartilages are very important, which is here, which we see, we can also feel here. So this rings basically ensures that the respiratory system, this tract does not collapse. Means if anybody try to press it, so it doesn't allow it more easily to press this respiratory tract, right? So this is basically for the protection. Now these are divided into two bronchi. So these are bronchi 1 and 1 here, to the left and to the right, right? So this I am not wrong, just to this part. And there are some ribs which we can see. This is a diaphragm, which when we breathe in it flattens, and then again when we breathe out it again takes a U shape, right? So and these are the cilias, the most important part, cilia. Cilia is basically this tracts in the respiratory tract. There are some finger-like projection or hairs, okay, which helps the air to free from the germs, to kill the dust particles, or to clean the air, what we can say, and also protect from the harmful bacteria, right? So what happens if somebody who is into smoking, इनकी जो ये सीलियाज होते हैं वो क्या हो जाएंगे, डेड हो जाएंगे या मर जाएंगे। सो सीलियाज खत्म हो जाएंगे तो उनकी वजह से उनका लंग्स खराब हो जाता है। ओके, लोगों को मिथ है कि जो गैस अंदर जाती है उसकी वजह से मरते हैं, नहीं, वो भी एक रीज़न है, बट द मेन मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट रीज़न इज लाइक उनके जो हेयर सीलियाज होते हैं वो उस जल जाते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दैट हॉट स्मोक। सो उसकी वजह से वो जर्म्स और डस्ट पार्टिकल्स को क्या बोलते हैं, क्लीन नहीं कर पाते एयर को, और वो डस्ट पार्टिकल सीधा एंटर्स इनटू द दिस alveoli sac, right? So with the now let's go to the process again. So this air enters into the bronchis, right? From the bronchis it enters into the bronchioles. So these are the bronchioles are the branches, various type of branches which bifurcate the air to the various different types of alveolar sac, right? So this bifurcate this air here and this different parts, that is ends at the alveolar sac. So these are the ends, and these are the balloon like structure which you can see here. This is balloon like structure, and these balloon like structure are the main part where the exchange of gases takes place because they provide the large surface area. Now how this is this balloon like structure helps in the absorption. See, you know the diffusion process from the gases which flows from the high concentration to the low concentration. That is how they helps in the exchange of gases. So here there are some large amount of capillaries. In the alveolar sac there are large amount of capillaries. You all know capillaries are semi-permeable and the exchange of gases can take place. So in this alveolar sac, which I have zoomed it here, basically this blue part is a deoxygenated blood and red part is a oxygenated blood. So how does it take place? First we can see that this air which we breathe in, this is a fresh air which enters from this part. This is a fresh air, right? Which enters from this part, nasal passage. Okay, if you can see. Then now this obviously this is this carry more amount of O2 and less amount of CO2 because when we breathe in some amount of CO2 also enters into it. So जैसे ही वो अंदर जाएंगे, the high concentration here in the red is basically the high concentration of O2. Okay, now this high concentration of O2, and in this capillaries, this is the capillaries which are moving like this, right? here there is low concentration of O2. So because in the center there is high concentration of O2 and in the capillaries there is low concentration, right? So what happened? This oxygen enters into the capillaries. This is how they enters inside. Correct? And because you can see that CO2 is smaller, okay, in the smaller in the number in the alveolar sac, right? These are CO2. So because in the capillaries the CO2s are in a large number, so they basically comes out because of high concentration to the low concentration. For CO2, they will come out because the high concentration is inside the capillaries. So they will come into the alveolar sac, right? So all the CO2s has been entered into the alveolar sac, and all the O2 enters into the capillaries. How? Because see, hemoglobin in the blood, there is hemoglobin. That hemoglobin helps in the trapping of O2. That is very efficient in absorbing the O2. So that hemoglobin, due to the diffusion process, takes all the O2 from the alveolar sac, and CO2 is excreted out into the alveolar sac. Now this alveolar sac, when we exhale, this CO2 is again, we can see the blue lines, they are again thrown out from the body or exhale out from the body, and this is how the whole process works. So I hope you understand this process very efficiently, and please share with your friends. बच्चों, आपको इससे फ़ायदा हो, दूसरों को भी फ़ायदा होगा, so उनसे भी बोलिएगा सब्सक्राइब करें and लाइक करें. थैंक यू and keep watching. जय हिंद, वंदे मातरम.